Hey everyone, Kevin Newsom coming to you from H-Town. Hopefully you're doing well on this very early stretch of January 21. I had the pleasure recently of wrapping up the Vikings Season 6 Part 2 on Amazon Prime. And I want to give my thoughts on the final chapter of the Vikings saga. First and foremost, let me say it is a return to form for the Viking series. You have lots of twists and turns, excellent writing, and excellent acting all the way around. And for those who have watched Vikings since the beginning, or if you picked it up somewhere along the way, you will not be disappointed. At the beginning of 6 Part 2, we see the culmination of the Bjorn Ironside story. And a lot of fans online kind of complaining that Bjorn never got, Alexander Ludwig, by the way, never got any real drama to sink his teeth into. Essentially, Bjorn, the character, was two-dimensional. He was good at fighting, and he was good at funning with the women, and that's about it. But in 6 Part 2, we finally get to see some dramatic moments from Bjorn Ironside, something for Alexander Ludwig to sink his teeth into, and he does quite well. The drama, of course, is sky high at the early parts of 6-2 as we resolve the Bjorn Ironside saga. Of course, Bjorn's story, not the only one that comes to an end. We see a dramatic ending and a dramatic conclusion in the land of the Roose. The drama between Oleg and Prince Deer really comes to a very satisfying ending towards the middle to the end of Season 6-2. This is essentially a battle for Igor and for the soul of the budding Roose Empire. And I think it's a very well done, well written, well performed part of this last bit of Season 6. Personally, at the beginning of the Roose saga, I was not sold. I thought it was kind of superfluous and not needed. But it became an integral part of the series itself, and that's due mostly to the fine job of all the actors involved there. We also see the fulfillment of the mystery of Floki. What happened to Floki? Where did Floki go? Was he killed? Did he run off? Will he come back to Kattegat? We see this wrap up nicely at the end of this last bit of the Viking saga. Ubbe Torvi, another section of this Viking story that reaches its climax at the end of this last season. And as many of the previews showed, they end up discovering or finding a new land that is inhabited already. And so the end of Season 6-2 navigates those waters and explores just how Ubbe, Torvi, and friends will make it through this new world. In this section of Viking 6-2, this is my only criticism. There was some inclusion of some social justice messaging, what some would consider to be political correctness. I didn't think it was too much. I thought it was commentary coming from the creator and coming from the writers and perhaps even the actors. And while it's certainly not heavy-handed, I did want to caution viewers about that. Kattegat. Don't think that Kattegat doesn't matter anymore, as there are several storylines that find satisfaction back home within the friendly confines of our home base. I think one of the more unlikely and surprisingly good performances in this conclusion at Kattegat comes from Lucy Martin, who portrays the character Ingrid. Ingrid, in previous seasons, married Bjorn Ironside and was raped by King Harald Finehair. And in this last bit of Season 6, she puts together a tremendous performance. Something I was not expecting. She provides tremendous depth for her character. So definitely pay attention to the events in Kattegat as we wrap up this last season of Vikings. But the greatest performance for season 6, and I would say since the ending of Ragnar Lothbrok, comes from Alex Anderson. The character of Ivar the Boneless is captivating, and Alex Anderson makes it so. The writing for Ivar the Boneless, just as good. And as we come to the end of this series, the interplay between Ivar and Hvitserk really puts a bow on the entire saga. We never know, as we're watching Vikings season 4, season 5, season 6, we never know how this particular relationship is going to end up. It's a mystery. We see hints, we see possibilities, but we don't know how we're going to finish the personal drama between Ivar and Hvitserk. And the way that it is done is perhaps one of the most beautiful moments in recent TV history. It is a wonderful, wonderful ending and conclusion that is brought forth between those two characters. I couldn't have written it or imagined it to be any better. So, Vikings 6 Part 2, really a return to form, a return to the greatness of the series, not only in terms of writing, but also in terms of good character acting. Acting that pulls you into the characters themselves, characters that have full dimensionality to them. And I would be willing to bet a lot of credit to that goes to those very actors themselves. But if you're wondering, I wasn't too hot on Vikings after Ragnar died. The show let me down. It went into decline. Do yourself a favor. Go back to the point that you stopped watching. Pick up the season again and watch it all the way through. And let me know what you think. In my opinion, the last bit of season 6 Part 2, truly great, truly wonderful TV. And it brings Vikings back to what made the show so compelling, and that's great storytelling and great acting. This is Kevin Newsom coming to you from Houston, Texas, saying God bless each and every one of you. I'll talk to you later.